Good morning. This is Sri Primo. We quickly now pivot to the next team in the NFC North series. After the Packers, we move on to the team that's finished second, uh, which is the Minnesota Vikings, which, again, when they came in last year, they finished um, very well. I mean, they finished at 14-3, second in the NFC North. Um, and interestingly, what they did was like they picked JJ McCarthy, but you know what happened. They had to pivot to Sam Darnold, who had a breakout year for them. They did qualify into the playoffs as the number 5 seed. They lost um, pretty handily to the LA Rams in the wild card round. So let's quickly go down to how they fared last year. They're offensively like the Packers. They finished, I think they were in the 12th, and then number 6th in the passing game. So that was the breakout year for Sam Darnold. As I mentioned, scored almost at 25 points a game. Darnold was threw for 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, led the team to a great start, 11-2 start, one of the best. And then you had Aaron Jones, who had 5 touchdowns in both. And of course, the Pro Bowler Justin Jefferson was completely dominant, over 100 catches and 1,500 yards with 10 touchdowns. Um, the offense was great, but I think one of the things that they had struggles with was the red zone. On the defensive side, they were kind of the middle of the pack in the NFL. They did give up a lot more points. Of course, they scored a lot more points. So I think that kind of tells you. And then their secondary was quite weak last year, 28th against the pass. But very good run stopping defense. So that's one thing that they pride themselves in. Um, Defensively, Jonathan Greenard, I mean, led with 4 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. And then Blake Cashman had like a lot of tackles as well. And Byron Murphy, good call out, 6 interceptions. Defense was top 10. I mean, they forced a lot of turnovers. As I mentioned, they clinched the playoff and they lost to the Rams. Um, they swept the Green Bay Packers for the first time since 2017, and I talked about the Green Bay Packers yesterday. I mean, poor record in the division, but they did fall to Detroit twice. They got that kind of cost them the division title. It came neck to neck, and then kind of talked about the playoff loss to the Rams. That kind of shows you that their weakness against the pass, and they allowed 27 points. So the one problem was like they remember their wild card game was scheduled to Glendale, Arizona. They didn't actually play in California against the Rams. The Vikings again. What did they do in the offseason? They fortified some of their things. They just picked. They signed Jonathan. Uh, let's before we go to the offseason. Yeah, let's go to the offseason where they picked Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle, 3 years, 60 million from like Washington, and Javon Hargrave from Philadelphia. They also signed like Ryan Kelly, who's a center from Indy, and Rondell Moore from Arizona. So they picked up a lot of them as well. They re-signed some of their cornerbacks and running backs as well. Um, and like I said, they did get like a backup, Sam Howell. Now, let's go to the departures. Sam Darnold left. I mean, after a breakout season, went to Seattle after his career year, and that's going to be interesting. Now they're pretty much pivoted to who they want to go to. They got the offensive line help. But now, and then the number 1 pick, let's quickly go down to the draft before I get to McCarthy here. Donovan Jackson, O-lineman from Ohio State. Immediate, I think he should probably start. And then they didn't pick until like third round, so they picked wide receivers and D linemen and linebackers. So one of the outlooks on this one, you have Justin Jefferson, who's going to be the top receiver with Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. So these guys are, and who's going to be returning from injury. They shored up some of their wide receiver core as well. On the defensive, you got Allen and Hargrave. So that's going to be a great run defense, as it is. They were solid level number two. And offensive line, as I mentioned. Now, the quarterback transition, let's talk about that. So you have Sam Darnold, who had a career year, turning the reins over to McCarty, who got hurt last year. That's one of the reasons why he couldn't start. And then they have a backup, Sam Howell. So Sam Howell is someone who's a journeyman, not proven. Very tough schedule they got, and they got a lot of injury concerns to some of the things going on. So they opened with the Giants, and they got some key games as well, tough schedules. 14-3 last year. I think with the departure of Sam Darnold, who provided that foil as a veteran, I mean, resurgence for him. I think the Twins are, to me, this year are going to take a step back. Vegas, I think, has them at 8-9, 7-10-7 kind of thing. Um, I think it's going to be a growing pains season for the Minnesota Twins. And again, I could be wrong. I mean, they got all the weapons there. McCarty has proved to be a winner at Michigan, won the national championship. So, but not a not a throwing quarterback, as we know, not a passing quarterback. So I would peg them at around 10-7 and maybe 9-8. I mean, I know Minnesota fans are not going to like what I'm saying, but I'm trying to think about JJ McCarty as a rookie quarterback and the growing pains he's going to endure despite this one. So one thing would be they showed up their defense. So rely on the defense. Don't make mistakes. Try to win. They're not going to be scoring 400 plus points like last year. So which means that they'll have to win the game in the trenches. So that's where I see it. Um, Playoffs. I think they could make the playoffs as a seventh seed. That's where I think for now. And then let's see if that'll pan out. All right, with that, we wrap up the Minnesota Twins. Thanks again for listening, and have a good rest of the day.